What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles welcoming you to another edition of Lyles Figure Files. Happy Thursday. The week is almost done, which means it's time to talk live with you all about another exciting dose of figure activity going on in the wild world today. Hope you all are having an awesome week. Mine has been pretty good. Wasn't quite sure if I was going to be able to do this show. Had to go to the dentist, get some work done, and when I left, a little puffiness, little swelling going on. I was like, oh no, I will be too numb to talk about anything regarding figures. But finally wore off. Mouth is feeling good, and now I'm ready to talk some figures with all of you. Today, I wanted to talk about how in the world are you prioritizing all these figures that are coming out, because it's a massive onslaught of figures going on right now. There's so much stuff, so many things that I want, so many things I'm like, I can't buy everything right now and walk out of Target, walk out of GameStop, walk out of etc., or have Amazon or GameStop drop off the big truckload of all these figures. So I wanted to see what you all thought. And a lot of y'all already here in the chat with me. Thank you so much, as always, for spending your Thursday nights here with Lyles Figure Files. Afton Child in the building first. What's going on? How are you? Kendrick, does anyone know when the Target exclusive Marvel Legends Black Widow figure gets a restock on their website? You know, it's funny because when I looked earlier, it was still up for pre-order. And Target pre-orders are so weird because their website is so weird, because they'll say, hey, yeah, this thing that you've seen in the stores several times already is still up for pre-order. I got those Karate Kid figures, the Cobra Kai versions, and on their website they still have them on pre-order for $27.99, and these jokers already hit clearance. And I'm just like checking on Target's website right now for you, and it doesn't even look like she's there yet. Or again, but I've seen her several times in stores. Although I will say for sure that Black Widow is going super quick. I went to a store that restocked with this full slate of all these new figures, and I think there was probably a full caseload of Black Widows, so maybe about 8 or 7 at the time when I went. When I went back to that same Target just a few days later, there was only one left. So all the raving about how this is the best female figure that Hasbro's done with the Marvel Legends line has really got people excited, people hyped up, ready to buy this. I don't know if this is going to be one we can wait on clearance. And if the Ant-Man is any indication, he never gets clearance. So probably may not want to wait too long for Black Widow, a figure that's actually seemingly worth it because of how much they put into her, the great articulation, all the accessories. The only thing missing is, of course, a Build-A-Figure piece that could go to some amazing Build-A-Figure, the same quality as this really great Black Widow. I think the next time I hit Target, I'm going to have to walk out with Natasha because she just looks like she's going to be really hard to find later on. Major Gunplero, what's up? How do you prioritize? Easy. Give all your money to your significant other. Don't go to any store, physical or online. Close all your social accounts and cry watching every Lyles video. Yeah, because I mean, my Facebook page, basically, I'm only using it now to see what the local figure group is finding all the latest drops on Amazon. It's like, wow, there's so much stuff. And then my Twitter, X, whatever that you want to call it, Instagram, filled with all kinds of cool photos from really talented figure photographers such as yourself. So definitely it doesn't help to look online whatsoever. But there is some benefits to waiting for sales or when sales come, because that was how I got some of these last GI Joes and DC figures. I was like, oh, great, Target, you finally come through the sale. But this time I was like, huh, that put like a really small drop into the bucket of things I wanted to get. It was like, wow, I just got 3 figures I had my eye on for months, and now I've got them, but there's like 30 more figures I still want. It's crazy. It is really wild. 80s kids from the 90s. 80s kid from the 90s. What's going on, brother? Jeff, right now I'm focused on the Lightning Collection Remastered line, X-Men 97, which dropped today, and anything from Ahsoka. However, my local GameStop does carry Shipwreck. Good point about GameStop. It's the new month now, which means everyone who has membership to GameStop can really rack up pretty well, because they had their $5 off if you're a member. And then if you find the figure in store, you can get another $1.20, I think, off of the figure, which makes it really good and cheaper than Target, Walmart, all these other stores. So I need to get Shipwreck from them, because Walmart's, shockingly, like I told you, even though they have the GI Joe Classified series for cheaper, than Target. They have them for $21.99. It's $3 difference, so that's pretty good. But they only had one figure, so which I did get because GI Joe Classified I'm all about. I know I'm getting Hush Superman and Batman, but we definitely need to talk about that Hush Batman today as well. After John wants to know, I've got a question. Did anybody see or know with the Darth Raven Black Series 50th anniversary at Ollie's? I need him in my collection, and he is my favorite character all time in Star Wars. I'm trying to think if I saw him when I went to Ollie's these last few times. I don't think so. Let me know if you guys have seen him. Kendrick, hey Jeff, did you have any trouble getting the Range Viper on Walmart's website? I did not. I was able to place my order, and the last time I checked, there was no funniness, no Walmart shenanigans going on with him just yet. But as we all know, you can't trust Walmart pre-orders until they have arrived in your door and you open it and the figure is staring you in the face. So let's see on their website right this moment while I'm narrating. That's kind of boring, me looking and you all not seeing. Let's see if the Range Viper is here again. And wow, thank you so much. Helpful Walmart window. Thank you. All right, that was helpful. So let's see here. It doesn't look like the Range Viper is on here now. That's a great sign to everyone who pre-ordered. Looks like Shooter's out of stock, Mole Rat's out of stock, and finally that Crimson Alley Viper. This guy had been there for a long time. And if you wanted him, you really could have army built him, but now he's gone. Looks like Range Viper is now out of stock. And doesn't look like Big Ben is there. But the crazy thing is, of course, with GI Joe Classified series, there's already people getting a hold of Range Viper and Big Ben. It's like, oh, these might be coming a little bit sooner than we were promised. So hopefully everyone who wanted Range Viper can get them. Hasbro Pulse isn't terrible about restocking once they get those figures, their big partners get them. So maybe that's an option, because eventually they'll be back in stock because they're rolling through so many GI Joes at this point where it's like, okay, hard to keep up with where everybody is. So I'm checking on their site right now. And it even looks like Tripwire's in some people's hands, which is wild because he is supposed to come out December 1st. And that clearly is not August 1st or 3rd. So as always with GI Joe Classified, it's only an advertisement, only suggested retail date of when it's going to actually come, and they could arrive at any moment. But it looks like Crimson Alley Viper, Mole Rat, Shooter, Firefly, finally. Crimson Viper sold out. Still the Snow Serpents. Nothing on the Range Viper, though. So, yes, he and Big Ben are also sold out there. So, hopefully, if you want these guys, they'll show back up. I would imagine you'll find better luck getting those figures on Hasbro Pulse because Walmarts are a nightmare. And I told you guys about my Walmart store experience, and there's one. It's just really, really terrible. It is the closest one, obviously, to me, and which makes it even worse because it's just terrible to get to. They designed the shopping center so poorly. There's like one real entrance and exit. So you got everybody's congregating right there. Of course, the entrance and exit is right by the Walmart. There's a shopping center, grocery store, Domino's, the spa, the typical thing they have at every shopping center. And all the traffic funnels in and out at the Walmart, which makes it really hard because I don't know if you know, but Walmart shoppers don't tend to be the most courteous. They're just kind of like, oh, we can walk through the street whenever. Phones, cars, whatever, it doesn't matter. So I want to show you guys my closest Walmart because I was like, you know what? It's been so long since I've been here. I'm sure they've restocked and it's going to look so much better than it typically does. Now let's see how this Walmart experience was for me earlier today. So this is it. I mean, you can see how many current WWE figures they have in there. They do have Papa Shango and Mankind Superstars and a plethora of McFarlane Toy Superpowers. There's a couple of Star Wars Black Series figures. That's it there. Terrible and awful. Look, a Marvel Legends figure. That's Yelena and one of the Knonshu Build-A-Figures. I didn't even bother. That's everything. And then there's Spider-Woman Jessica Drew for everybody who wanted her. Looks like she was the only one there. But this is my local Walmart, the closest one to me. Absolutely no GI Joes. This is their Transformers selection. Really bad. I just don't know how you do not have any GI Joe Classified series figures, but that's my Walmart. So it's a nightmare. It's just a complete waste of time going there. And I don't recommend, if you are looking for a Walmart exclusive, bothering with the store. Stalk Hasbro Pulse. Maybe check their website. You'll get lucky. But whew, Walmart's a disaster. And I really, really hate when any store gets a Walmart exclusive because they don't care about stocking their stuff. Unlike Target, which will make sure that if you wanted their exclusive, you could actually get it. So let's see here. Christopher Bose is in the building. Hello, Jeffrey. What a great topic. Thank you. Every so often, I feel like I get a good one. So I'm very curious to hear what you guys think about this as well. City Rider, what's going on, man? Good evening, Chief. And City Rider says, hit that like button, folks. So thank you very much. Major and Gunplero, Jada Street Fighter is killing it. Finally, we can have our Marvel versus Capcom in figure form. You know what? I am at my complete kicking myself phase because I had Fei Long and Ryu in my Amazon cart. Like, cool, I'll get them soon. And now they're past their, Amazon doesn't have any more on hand. And now it's back up to the secondary prices. It's like, gosh, why did I just not get those figures when they're available and ready for me to grab? But it's really frustrating because everyone loves these figures and they are super, super hard to get. So hopefully I can track these guys later because I need those figures in my collection. JT the Grind, what's up, brother? And after child's like me, where can I find Jada Street Fighter figures? Because I really want to get them. I am with you. Christopher says, Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, Nerd Zoic, Target, others. Stock is in and out as of late. Yeah, it is. It's terrible. I need to check Target because I have not seen one of those figures in my Target. Only Ryu and Fei Long are out so far. Chun-Li is next. Chun-Li wins. Nolan, what's going on? Lomo Musician, what's up? What's up, Jeff? So many cool figures out now. I want them all. I'm like you. It's like there's everything that's here. And it's so wild because, I mean, I had to think back to pre-pandemic where it was just like there was so much actually on the shelves at one point where it's like, geez, like when you were a little kid, you'd see those giveaways and they take the kids or Toys R Us or whatever would have the enter into our sweepstakes and you can have a shopping spree at our store. And I was like, oh man, that would be amazing to just run in with a cart, just knock everything off the pegs into your cart and then a little bottom section, then go to the video game section and snatch all the tickets and go, I'm done. 5 minutes. Give me everything. That's kind of how it feels right now where there's so much stuff on the shelves, on the pegs, and it's like, wow. And I still don't have my shopping spree money. I'm just like, which one figure am I to get? Because there's so much good stuff. But a ton of great figures right now. And it's really hard to choose just one. So it's really wild on that. Will you be sending us all some money to help us deal with all these figures coming out? Much appreciated. Christopher, I wish I could, man. I wish if I was one of these super influencers, I'm like, hey guys, I'm going to give you all $100 just for watching this episode. All you got to do is smash that like button. But alas, that is not the case. But maybe one day we'll hold our hope. We'll cross all our fingers to make that a reality. Lomo Musician just had a huge haul from a Target run yesterday. My wallet is addicted. Hashtag addiction. Man, it is. Well, it's a healthier one than some of the other ones. But yeah, man, these Target runs are dangerous, especially right now because so many Marvel Legends. It's like when I went to one last week, they couldn't even fit everything in their little Marvel collection section. They had like both sides and they're just stacked, just like literally. It's like the Target employees are like, there you go. There's all the figures. Good luck. And it doesn't matter because they're not going to stay here too much longer. But so many 2-packs, so many single figures with the Marvels, the Spider-Man Legends set. It's like there's so much stuff. And how in the world are we going to get it all? We have to figure out, have to plan and be very diligent and thoughtful about how we're going to get these figures. Jamelin Parks is in the building. What's up, bro? What's up, brother? How are you? Robert's Infinite Realms. Hey, Jeff, how's it going? Good topic. Thank you. Matthew Matson's in the building. What's going on, man? Danny Ruiz. Yo, Jeff. What's up, dude? How are you? I am so much better. Mouth is fully back in gear, ready to eat. Chow down after this show. So I'm really looking forward to good and some big business on that end. Matthew agrees. Black Widows are flying off the shelf. She is. It's wild. I mean, it's like if they make a quality figure, everybody will want the figure, even at a higher price point. So weird. I wonder if there's a correlation we can put behind this. Like, hey, you guys made a really good figure with alternate head sculpts. One you can even use for CoverGirl. And hey, people will buy the figure. Who knew? Eric, what's going on, man? Good to see you. I have to really limit what I'm getting these days. Toddy Mac just keeps bringing out great DC multiverse variant plus the Batman 66 ones. Yeah, there's some really good. Todd is so up and down. I mean, he will make a video that's so amazing and so great, and then it'll turn around. I'm like, come on, Todd, you could have done better with this one. But this week was like a perfect example. There's a really good figure he just released today. Pre-orders went up for it. Then I saw a shot of a figure that I really wanted. And I'm like, come on, Todd, that's not how you did it so dirty with this figure. But I'll get into that in a little bit too. TCP Toys, hola! I'm here. It's awesome to see you as well. ICT Vanny, what's up? Widows definitely is not going to be on clearance. Absolutely. I'm just like Target. It's another week, and it's funny. I don't know if you guys are like me. Like Saturday night, I just happen to be up past 3 o'clock normally, so I'm scanning that Target ad. Like, all right, you got any sales for figures? Because that's the time to pounce. Get up early or stay up late like I am, and then you can get those figures before your stores open and do the order pickup. And that way, if there's a sale, one of those spend 100, get $25, spend 50, get $10 off. It works out pretty well. And then they also have those coupons where you spend $70 on household items or whatever, you get another $15. If you're buying household stuff, that's really helpful. So just a suggestion and another way to save some money at Target. Roberts, I just got Black Widow. Cool figure. That's awesome. I've not heard from anyone who's picked up this Black Widow and's been disappointed. So I'm really looking forward to getting her. I think some of my hesitation is just, well, if I get her, I've got to get Hawkeye. And it's just a really bad spiral. And because then somehow my logic is going to go, well, if I got Hawkeye, I've got to get another guy who uses the Sky Cycle. So I should get that Black Knight and Cersei too back. Dangerous. So we'll see how it goes. Kendrick, hey Jeff, have you heard about the macho screw job on Bret Hart, brother? Yeah, man. I mean, I'm a long time wrestling fan. Bret Hart is my other favorite alongside Sting. So yeah, I know all about it. Figures the whole works. So yeah, for sure. TCB Toys. How do you feel about the Summer Fest from McFarlane Toys? And also, did you pre-order it? Which one? The Batman Hush? I haven't yet, but there are a lot of really cool stuff that he showed. And then some stuff I'm like, come on, Todd, let's knock this thing out. Juan Sanchez, what's up? And there are two philosophies: prioritize based on the character, or prioritize based on the objective quality of the figure itself. I collect because of my connection to the IP, so I do the former. So that's an interesting way to look at it. So for me, I go for two things, like GI Joe. If there's a new GI Joe figure on the stands, it's really hard for me to go, yeah, I'm going to leave that for later. Because GI Joe Classified series has been so good. I feel like they're hitting their stride, even though when the line started, I was like, oh, this is so cool. GI Joe's in 6-inch format. Now I feel like they've struck that perfect balance of going a little bit old school, going with the classic Real American Hero designs, and still figuring out a way to make them look cool and not being so tied down to the old designs, and still coming up with some new looks for the characters that make sense, where it's like, that's a real cool tweak. I'm down with that. We've seen that with Tripwire. We've seen it with Rock and Roll, where it's like, okay, that's not the exact look, but I kind of like that detail, the way you guys incorporated the old school look into this new figure. I'm excited. Let's keep that going. And I mean, this is just the current wave, but there's so many figures coming out where it's like, yeah, I like what y'all are doing. I mean, we saw Hawk, we saw Buzzer, Ripper, Low Light, Tunnel Rat, where these are figures still coming down the pike. And I'm still like, wow, really great job. I haven't been disappointed with any of these designs. So I'm like all over, like, when y'all come here, I'm going to grab them. I need to start building up my Target rewards points again so I can get more figures and feel like, hey, I saved some money. But yeah, so for me, I'm like, yeah, I'm with you on that whole, how much do I love the property? And they kind of get ranked like that. Or if it's a figure where that paint job is going to be really sketchy. So here is a perfect example. So I got the McFarlane Flashpoint Flash, and I have every reason to believe this figure is going to be in my top 10 later on in the year. But you can see that logo. There we go. And that white and lightning bolts. One part of it is not sculpted, which is kind of surprising, but that figure is going to be really tricky to, well, just catch the next time and get them later. That's going to be hard, and I don't want to wait. And then, oh man, this one looks really terrible with the logo looking botch. So if I see a figure like that and, see because of the plastic window, I can do that and go, this is the perfect version of this figure. I'm not going to get a better one. I need to buy it now. So that's another thing for me. So if it's based on my love of the property, that's number one. But then if a figure is like this paint job is not going to get any better, and it's on something that could be really sketchy, kind of dodgy in terms of consistency, where I can find a better paint job of this later on. Mattel's figures, they're WWE figures. I don't tend to have too many issues with their paint jobs, so I can wait them out. So they've got the new Legends 19 figures, Brother Love, Kama, D'Lo, Undertaker. Those figures, I know the paint jobs are going to be solid with every figure. And I can just wait till they hit. I can wait till they hit clearance. No problem, because whenever I find them, they're going to look good. But a figure like that Flash, I definitely have to jump on it right away because there's no telling how that figure is going to turn out later. Roberts says, I prioritize based on IP as well. Yeah, I'm with you. Lefty Two Lions, BK, what's happening, LMF crew? What's going on? John Zimmerman, what's up? Picked up the newest Cyclops for $750 at Target today. Now you win on that. For my area, very rarely do the figures that are on clearance hit that next level of clearance where it's like, sometimes, especially since they're now up to $24.99, they're like, oh man, this figure is now $17. It's like, that's good, but not quite good enough, because that $12.49 clearance is eventually going to drop. And then if you're really fortunate, you'll find a couple that are $7.49 or $7.49. So I was able to get the Yondu for that price, but none of the other Marvel Legends were there. Now I should go to my Target and see if I can get that price match, because I'm sure they're all dropped down to that price too. Maybe I should do that. But yeah, now that you reminded me, John, I should probably do that. See if I can get all the money that I saved on those figures earlier and get an even greater discount. But yeah, that's a really good price. Congratulations to you on that one. TCP Toys has some bad news. I regret picking up that Doomsday vs. Superman 2-pack. Toy Shiz on YouTube or two reviewed it, and I still regret buying it. I hope Todd creates a new mold for Doomsday and make him as a mega fig single release. Now, do you not like the size of the Doomsday or the articulation? Articulation seemed like it was kind of weird with the hip joints being a little soft, but I thought the figure looked good. Now I'm wondering if Doomsday is a character, he'll do a gold label and go more classic than this sort of modern version that he did. I thought the figure looked cool, but I would probably jump for sure if he did more of a classic Dan Jurgens version of that. Blake Tarpley's in the building. What's up, Jeffrey? What's up, chat? What's up, man? My Walmart thing's so bad, they don't care. Power Rangers or GI Joes. Yeah, 80s kid. They're a waste of time. James Green. So we got consecutive hit ups from the crew comes through on Wednesday nights for Lyle's Movie Files too. What's up, crew? What's up, Jeffrey? How you doing, James? Juan, for example, I think GI Joe Classified series makes objectively better figures than Marvel Legends. I agree with you, but I'm a diehard Marvel fan and have zero connection to GI Joe. Therefore, I collect Marvel Legends. No, I'm with you on that for sure. I get it. There's some figures, like the NECA figures, their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think they look really great. I think they do amazing work bringing all these cartoon characters that I kind of sort of remember. I don't have like a wish list where it's like, I wish they did this figure and that one, but the figures that I see look really good. And I wish I had an attachment to them because just how good those figures look. So I'm definitely with you and agree with you on that, man. There's some figures that look good. It's just like, it's not for me. Jay Woods, space restricts me to Marvel characters. If I don't know the characters, it doesn't get prioritized. Y'all need to check out Jay's videos. He puts up these amazing display videos of his collection, and they're so well done. He's like, got all these cool action poses. It's not just the museum like I have to have set up for my collection, but man, he's got like everybody in movement. Really cool. Check out Jay's videos on his Marvel Legends collection because it's great the way he has it set up. Daniel, I want to share my figure haul from these past few days because I think I got a good amount of figures. Let's hear it, man. Let's see what you got. TCP Toys. Also, I found the entire controller Build-A-Figure wave at my job at Ollie's. All the pain I was thinking about getting them. That's you. Well, I think that's a pretty good wave. And I don't regret getting any of them. Did your store have a Maria Hill / Quake? Because that figure would be really good to get from an Ollie's where you can just army build a whole mess of them. I think Hasbro is trying to release a female Hydra agent and a female Shield agent, and this could be a nice shortcut around that if you don't care about a female Hydra agent. But man, that wave showing up at Ollie's now, this is the first time I've heard of that, which is really cool. Even though I just literally just built the collector, a controller the other day. I don't know why I want to just call this guy the collector. Maybe it's because I'm a collector. But yeah, let me see here. I literally just did him. And let me see if I can pull up my little picture because I really thought they did a good job with him. I was pretty happy with how he turned out. So here you go. Here's my picture of the collector. So y'all can check it out. But yeah, I really thought he turned out nice. And if you could build that figure and get all those pieces, then get him for, what would that be? If they're $10, $60, he's a great builder figure. Might be the builder figure of the year at that price. But yeah, I really liked him. And even the Thor, which I was kind of like, do I care about this variant of Thor? I'll get him for the controller head. I thought it was a really nice wave. So really cool. So if you guys have an Ollie's nearby, check them out. TCP Toy says they are coming right now. Jay, what's going on? Yeah, some of the Walmarts based on their toy department size and their planograms don't always carry GI Joes or Masters of the Universe. Personally, I just avoid these types of Walmarts. I'm with you, and that's why it's been so long since I went to that Walmart. It's not gonna be on my list anytime soon. But it's funny because the other ones in my area, they're a little bit further away. They're like maybe like 40 minutes, sort of 50, depending on how traffic goes. I have to get onto the highway to get to those other ones. They are really consistently good in terms of what they stock. It's just a matter of every collector knows that they're good. So it's like a mad dash to get there before they're cleared out. But yeah, those Walmarts are good, and the ones that aren't stay consistently bad. Skew Raider, what's going on? Mr. Cheeseburger, what's up? Only buying G.I. Joe. I quit every other line. Why buy other lines when clearly G.I. Joe is the best? Yo, man, G.I. Joe is there. I just got rock and roll today, so I'm excited because it's an original 13 member. Get him in line and just wow, he looks cool. You guys have been hyping him up, and I said, yeah, I'm gonna have to hold off on my man Shipwreck. I'll get him in a little bit. That Target sale, Target was funny because they kept putting new members of this wave in and out of stock, and when my order went through, I had originally started a scrap iron. It was like, great, this is gonna be real big savings. He was gone by the time I tried to complete my checkout. So I did get Bazooka and Torpedo and then Shipwreck and Copperhead on whenever the next sale hits, because I know they'll have them for a little bit unless I stumble into a GameStop, which has them, and I can get them really soon. Roberts, with G.I. Joe, I only get my faves. After this wave that's hit, I only want 3 more figs this year, so it works for me. What 3? And I admire your discipline because these G.I. Joes, I'm like, gimme. The Crimson Guard Python Patrol, I can wait till it's clearance, but everything else is like, I'll just bite the bullet. Not from Cobra because they can't hit anything, but I'm all about getting these Joes and Cobras relatively faster and bump my clearance weight out on those. Mason, what body do you think they would use for a new Absorbing Man? Or do you think they would have to make a new body? They've got a great body. Woo-hoo. They've really got a good mold. Too far away to grab. That Hercules mold would work perfect for an Absorbing Man. He is, he can get built up and bulky. That's all they need for him. They can just retool that as needed. That body works perfect for Absorbing Man, Wrecker, the entire Wrecking crew. Tiger Shark, that size is what we need for all these big muscular guys without making them super giganticized and ridiculously ill proportioned compared to everybody else. And so I would love to see him get that because it really looks good on Thor, it looks great on Hercules. An Absorbing Man should not be bigger than those two. The Wrecking Crew should not tower over those guys. So that for sure would be what I would want to see. Jay, that's all I'm buying is G.I. Joes now. Yeah. I mean, because not only are the figures really high quality, but it feels like the team is really excited. And you can see that in their videos. They're like, oh, we can't wait to show you what we're working on next. It's like, oh, really? What are you going to show us? And I think their enthusiasm carries through to the figures when you're opening them, or when you see the prototypes, you see the renders. It's like, yes, that's exactly how I wanted that figure to look. And to get that what you're envisioning in your head as you're coming up with these wish lists of like, oh, I wonder what Quick Kick is going to look like. And then when they show the render eventually, it's like, yes, that's exactly what I was hoping for. Some sandals so you can still have that barefoot look if I want it, the nunchucks, the stars coming out of his belt. I haven't seen it. I'm not just standing like, oh, yeah, because I've seen it, guys. I have no idea what he's going to look like, but I assume that the Classified Series team, knowing how engaged they are with the community and what we want as collectors, because it feels like they're fans of the brand too, they're delivering everything we want. There's some things with Marvel Legends where I kind of feel like, you guys, do you know what the most popular version of this look is? Because I feel like you missed the mark. Now I still need that character done over in the way that most of us want. Not all of us, but there's always going to be that mix of somebody that wants that really obscure version of a character. But I feel like with GI Joe, they're nailing these looks, even when it's like rock and roll, where there's an update to that classic look. We're getting the core essence of the character. For me, with rock and roll, it's that cross there of his machine gun, bullets strapped around his chest there, making that X. That's rock and roll. The blonde beard, the helmet, the big machine gun. That's what I want. I think they do a really good job delivering what we as the collectors and customers want. Don't you hate it when a fig is in a character you don't know, care about, and it's in a wave? Yes, I do too. TCB Toys says, the only problem I have with McFarlane Toys is the reuse. Let me explain. I don't have any problem with reusing, but at least tweak these up and try to make them not noticeable, but kind of noticeable-ish. Yeah, because there's some figures. Excuse me. Boy, that was funny. Like this Captain Atom figure, I saw it at Walmart because exclusive. I was like, oh man, there's so many better molds that you could have chosen for him. And he's got that Blue Beetle Booster Gold mold. And I guess that's more from the Blue Beetle. I know he's going to do that. Because he's got those belt straps or the boot straps that Booster Gold has. It's like, that's not quite right. It's too small, and it's going to be weird having Captain Atom the same exact size as Blue Beetle and Booster Gold, especially for fans of the JLI, JLE versions where Captain Atom is a little bit thicker and a little bit bigger. 80s kid, I did my first Power Ranger action review yesterday, and it was a hit. Good deal, man. I have to check it out. I like my Targets better than Walmart. My Targets have everything. I even found a lot of gold labels for DC Multiverse. I love Targets because they actually seem to stock. I feel like if you go to a Target over the course of a month, you should see them restock things. Whereas with a Walmart, you may go months and months and months before they restock anything. And it's really frustrating. It's like, why am I still coming to this store if you guys aren't going to restock? But Targets, it feels like, oh man, I missed it. In another week or so, hey, you guys are restocked. But that is definitely not the case for at least for my Walmarts in this area. At least your Walmart has a late 2022 wave of Star Wars figures. 80s kid, you have an even worse Walmart than I did. Kendrick, I just got the new Ultron from the Casting Lane Build-A-Figure wave. I like that he's pinless. And is he a classic Ultron? I just did my I keep looking over because I'm trying to see what figures I have. I just got this Iron Man, the Heroes Return version, and I really love this figure. And it kind of threw me for a loop because I was like, why are these panels not right? And why is this stuff wrong? Why is his neck? But they were actually really savvy with this because this is more of the Sean Chin version, the version where it was Heroes Return solo comic book Iron Man, not the Heroes Return George Perez version from the Avengers, where you can see his eyes. This neck piece was actually red. And then all these vent sections had like a glowing white to them. Tom Smith, I believe, was the colorist who did really great work on those. But yeah, it's a really good figure. And I put up that Ultron. So I was trying to see if, do I still have Ultron over there in that? Let me pull that picture up because I really like him. And of course, then it made me go, man, we really need this new Vision figure because he is definitely due for a better, broader figure now because there's just a better version of these guys. So here is what I shot just the other day. So that's the old Ultron. That's not the new one. And I'm really looking forward to this one because I can do some other cool stuff with him. And yeah, he's a really great figure. And I really like how they turned out. Man Vision's a little small. And Iron Man looks so cool. And if you haven't gotten this figure yet, I think he's one of my favorites so far this year. So let me know what you guys think when you get around to him. Rodney Sessoms, what's going on? GI Joe Classified, McFarlane Spawn, DC Multiverse, and some Star Wars Black Series. That's a solid group. I noticed you don't have Marvel Legends on that list. That is interesting. I feel like Marvel Legends started to turn a corner. They had a really rough last few years. And unlike the MCU, they're actually making improvements. Green Man, what's up, man? Gary Steele, yeah, Bowie is bad. Bowie is terrible. It is the absolute worst, the 100% worst Walmart ever. I mean, I can go to anywhere else and find figures, but Bowie is just like, why did I go here? It's terrible. Oops. Man, it's weird. The whole chat went crazy. Rodney, good evening, Jeffrey. Just got over here from JC's live stream. Hope he had a good one. TCB Toys, did you pre-order the Batman 6-pack or did you pre-order that classic Superman statue? I didn't. I don't want all those Batman. Don't care about the Pattinson Batman. Don't care about the Clooney Batman. Don't care about the Kilmer Batman. So for me, Affleck, Bale, Keaton. I've got Keaton coming with the Batmobile. And I don't know if I really need a Affleck Batman because I've got the Hot Toys version, which is so good. Got him with my Gal Gadot Wonder Woman, my Henry Cavill Superman. I guess that's gonna be all I have of those classic Justice League characters from the Snyderverse. Mickey Rowe, hey there, Jeff. Your Walmart looks exactly like the Walmart in my area. I never find any exclusive in the stores and barely any GI Joes or Marvel Legends in stock. Yeah, that's the thing. I had to get the Bucky cap because I'm like, yeah, I don't really want a chance trying to go back and forth to Walmart's because they're not convenient to get to. Like I can go to Targets all day because there's like 5 within 30 minutes. I can hit up a bunch of Targets real fast, do some damage on my Target tours. But the Walmart's I have to be more strategic in getting to. And when I'm going in, you gotta weave through all the people to get to Walmart. It's like it's a waste of time. And if it's a waste of time, and we got it up on the website, I'm going to go that way all the time. Kendra, has anyone done a Bam Bam figure yet? Or Junkyard Dog? They have indeed done both of them. And they have not done a Junkyard Dog yet in the latest Coliseum collection, which would make him with that superior articulation. But they've done Junkyard Dog. And I'm trying to think when the last one they did was. He came out back, let's say a couple years ago, 2021. Yeah, so a couple years ago. This is the Legends. It actually came with a variant blue outfit, so that was cool, like a little bit dark blue, not the light blue that he should have had. But this is the original version, the original flashback / Legends. I think he was in Legend or WWE Elite Wave 30 or 33. And this is a newer version. From 2021. I really like how this figure turned out. And like I said, I think they're going to put him out in one of those Coliseum collection 2-packs when he's going to have Ultimate Edition articulation. So if you've missed out, you can definitely get him later because I think they're really going to do him. They're sticking pretty close to those old school figures who got figures back in the day from LJN. So you can for sure get him. And they did also do a Bam Bam Bigelow that I did a review of same year, 2021. And this is what he looks like. So if you missed him, and they've done 2 different versions. I think they have a greatest hits version of Bam Bam coming out real soon. I think it's going to be this one, the red and orange one, and that gray and white is more of his ECW era. So that's really cool to get both versions of him. But yeah, they've done both figures, both versions of those. And unless they're too expensive, I wouldn't recommend getting them, but they really are fun because they have a nice bit of bulk to them and they hold up pretty well compared to some of the other figures. Notorious Unk, hard to prioritize when everything starts dropping at the same time. So true. It's like, how am I doing this? It's like, and then you got to hope that the figures that you don't get right away are still going to be in stock, still be on the shelves when you come back later on because it's so much stuff. Matthew, I think that toy store has been out of stock for a bit. I have a defect in my Ryu. They refunded my money because they couldn't replace the figure. Yikes. That's not helpful. But it's really good customer service. And I really like what Big Bad Toy Store does. I had customer service issues before. I even had a Hot Toys figure that I ordered for them. The figure got lost in mail. They're like, "We got you," and I was like, "You guys really worth it there." So, big fan of them. Big Bad Toy Store. Check them out. Do I collect Hot Toys? No, I do not. I have literally one Hot Toys. Let's see if I could grab it. It's the Avengers Endgame. Just that far out of reach. But it's the Avengers Endgame, Hulk, and Rocket from when they're going to New Asgard. But that's the only one I have. I used to have a whole slew of Hot Wheels back when I was younger, but those things look like a real serious rabbit hole that I cannot go down, and I'd have to come up with some cool displays for Hot Toys. So I've managed Hot Wheels. So I've managed to avoid getting those. Yeah. And then they have really nice versions too, so it's wild. Notorious on. Yeah, I got 2 Walmarts and 3 Targets by the crib. They're all dead for twice. Man, 5 stores and they're all terrible. That's the worst. Ski Raider, how to prioritize. Does the line meet the criteria of something I grew up with and enjoyed? Then, based on if yes, which of these is the most important to me in order of how much into I was? That is a very good way to do that. Blake, Jeff, any word on that Nightfall Gold Label McFarlane cell shaded Batman? We're finding the right shade of gray. Yeah, man. I was should have known better, but yeah, that did not really hit their store at all. And there was this whole thing of, hey, come on in to this exclusive setup we've got. You get this figure. And it's like, great. I missed that whole window for it, and it was really disappointing because it was like, oh man, I really wanted that. I think I'm just gonna have to settle for the Nightfall Batman. And I really wish they had just made that so everyone who wanted him could get him without any problem. It's funny because even on McFarlane's shop, he's sold out right now. And that's funny because you would think they'd make sure to have this figure. This is just the basic one. This isn't even the cell shaded version. But yeah, he's not available here. So when you find him in stores, make sure to go the quickness to get this figure because you may not even get it. I'm just going to have to be very careful and put a little black paint, maybe a Sharpie, and just take my time because I think that's going to be the only way I can do that. Did I pick up any DC multiverse figures? Yes, definitely do. And they're kind of like, okay, do I want this figure? Is it going to be good? And sometimes they're really great, but then other times the execution of the figure is not quite what I was looking for. So since you just asked, let's go talk about this. The Batman Hush, the new version, just came out on pre-order today. Really a big improvement over that other one. And like this head sculpt, sometimes the Batman head sculpts are kind of dicey. This one is really good. And I think the expression really works for Bruce. He looks focused, not too mad, not too angry, but just right. The eyes look good too. The sculpt on the bat is really well done. Check these elbows. They look so much better because back in the day, we got this such Batman and the elbows, trash, terrible. I don't know what was going on here. That's a big problem. This head sculpt, okay, I mean, it's fired up. Looks like Jim Lee, but not quite what I was wanting and hoping for with this. And yeah, it's okay, but this one's such a better version of this all around. I think the cape is different, maybe so, but this is so much better. Huge improvement. I don't know if I need this version, but if I needed a new default Batman, maybe that's the way I go. I really like how he turned out though, because that's a better version. But then I was saying, like, as Ty gives, he takes away just as easily because JWMP underscore show revealed these pictures of the cell shaded Batman, the original Detective Comics. I think this was 1000, the first Batman that he released, and the Tim Drake Robin. And I was so hyped up, so excited about it. You guys remember my excitement about this figure. And he is the same height as this original Batman and just a tad shorter than this Nightfall Batman. So he looks way out of scale. He's too big. Ideally, Tim would be like here to Batman, but for whatever reason, Todd just does not understand how to work the proper scaling for these younger sidekick characters. And it's the biggest frustration for me because I need my scale, I need my teen characters to be shorter than the adults. And I don't need any instance where the teen is taller than the adult. It just doesn't work for me. So yeah, I do pick up these McFarlane DC multiverse figures, but they really have to be done right. There's some figures that I like this Captain Atom. I don't know if I'm going to buy him because I just feel like he's too small and too slender. But when he knocks out something like this Barry Allen, I'm all over it. And you can't hold me back. I'm going to race to the stores and grab it because for sure it's great. You found the world's last Blockbuster in Oregon. Did they charge you late fees when you walked in? Big Bad Toy Store has open pre-orders for Ryu, Fei Long, and Chun-Li at OG original price. That is awesome. Let's see here because I feel like the good folks, my affiliate partner as well, Entertainment Earth, also has them in stock, or not in stock, but for pre-order for that $24.99 price point. I think that may be the way I'm going to have to go because it seems like I'm going to find them any other way. So there's another option for those of you looking for them. Jay's so glad I don't collect multiple lines. I love watching people's collections. I think they're so cool. And I'm amazed when people just have one collection where they can just focus on everything for that one line. So I'm like, wow, how do you not have all these others? How do you not have a Marvel Legends, a DC, a Star Wars? You just have a GI Joe collection, or you just have a Star Wars collection. You just have a WWE collection. So it's really cool seeing that. But my figure collecting is like, what in the world? You're missing out on some great figures. So which one do you collect, Jay? I'm curious. Oops. You playing? Hey Jeffrey, glad to catch you live, bud. Glad to have you on. Hope everyone is doing good. I think we're doing pretty good. Thank you, and hope you're having a great week too. Mason Carroll, my Atari is completely empty. Is it because they stocked up and everything's cleared out? Because there's one Target in my area that they're in the middle of a reset, just redesigning store needlessly again. And they seem like they were not selling much figures. They haven't brought in a lot of new figures. And I just so happened to go over there earlier this week, and they had the Black Widow. She was the only new figure. Everything else has been long sitting over there. McFarlane's, they're stopped at the Teen Titans Build-A-Figure wave. So it's real dead in terms of their figure aisle. So I was really shocked to see one Black Widow. Maybe everyone came through and scattered and grabbed everything, but I was really shocked to see her there. I'm not hyped for the Marvels, especially after Secret Invasion. I feel like it's going to be a meh movie. I've been talking to people, and we were saying the MCU just fell off since Phase 4 started. I think Phase 4 has suffered from not having a focus. They said it's the Multiverse Saga, but only like 3 or 4 projects have actually cared or focused on the Multiverse Saga. I think Secret Invasion could have been the whole basis of Phase 4, and then they could move on to the Multiverse Saga later. I think a Skrull Invasion could have tied in better to a whole Multiverse Saga, but whatever. Yeah, I've enjoyed Loki, WandaVision, and Falcon and Winter Soldier in terms of TV shows, and Miss Marvel was fine. Hawkeye was fine, but in the end, I don't know if I need to revisit them because the only things that seem to matter are the movies, and all these rumors I'm hearing don't excite me. But at least we had Endgame, right? And Spider-Man Far From Home and Spider-Man No Way Home. Jay, some targets are slow to do their resets. Some targets seem to be run better than others. I 100% agree with you. A's kid, I wish Toys R Us were still around in the US. Me too, man. Jeez, it was so much fun walking in there like, I need to post this video for my tours of Toys R Us's right before they were closing. And it was like, oh man, they were fun. And every time I watch those videos, I'm like, I remember how much fun it was going to Toys R Us. Like I said, I need to go to Canada, take a road trip, hang out with Mega J Retro, and say, yo, let's go to every Toys R Us here. Asian Complero, McFarlane, female figures don't sell. Hasbro, hold my beer. I mean, but Hasbro is like, we're going to just design one of the best female figures around. And it seems like the Cersei, the Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau figures are really well done. So let's see. Yeah, they're so much fun. It's such a great store. Let me know if y'all had a Lionel's Palace, I don't remember, Lionel's World or Children's Palace. We had a Children's Palace. It was great. Green Man got my Black Widow too. Nice. Ryan Daly's in the building with Tripwire. Got Drax and Moondragon and Hawkeye today. Should have Monica, Doom, Iron Man, and Widow within a few days. Thank you for reminding me. So this is what I'm talking about, the priorities. Which ones do you go with? I got this Thor and Destroyer 2-pack because of the Amazon price mishap where it was $52.99. I was like, get this fast because this set is clearly worth more than their typical $52.99 pack. Because Destroyer is basically build a figure all on his own, and this Thor is really good, and it really did a nice job on that. And then another one, I cannot believe this price point. $49.99 for Drax and Moondragon. Now, I love Moondragon because she fits in with my DNA Guardians. And Drax is really big. They could probably still do a slim down version of him. But those were the two that I had to get because I was like, these prices are off. They're a better deal than some of the other Marvel Legends sets. And I mean, because $49.99 is the price for Hawkeye and the Sky Cycle, Black Knight and Cersei, and Captain Marvel and Doctor Doom. And you get basically a Build-A-Figure with Drax. And Moondragon's solid. She needs some articulation updates, but otherwise, it's a really good set. And Destroyer and Thor, really great set. So I had to jump on those quicker than some of these other ones. Oh, the crappy little thing at Macy's doesn't count. It's so sad. It's just like, I guess I'm gonna have to just act like this is Toys R Us. But yeah, it is. Man, every time I go, because I really have no need to go to Macy's for anything, I just like, oh boy, guys, I wish y'all would do better. But this is my Macy's Toys R Us, and this was back in Thanksgiving, and I was like, oh man, it's so exciting. There's the Toys R Us, there's Jeffrey, there's me, there's two Jeffreys right here, Jeffrey and Jeffrey, one spelled correctly, the other with a G. And look at this Marvel section. There's nothing there. And the Star Wars is kind of plain and barren too. So it's just like, come on, what are we doing? Disgracing a good name of Toys R Us. Although they decide they don't want him, I do want to grab that Jeffrey so I can put him in my collection room and sit down and have him as a centerpiece of my figure collection. So if they decide they don't want to do this anymore, I will go and ask. And like Ted DiBiase says, everybody's got a price for their Jeffrey bench to put in the middle of their display. Mr. Cheeseburger. Black Widow's a repaint and reuse of Syringe, Shrink, Quake. Hasbro tossed in reused accessories and a couple of head sculpts, and suddenly this is the best figure ever. I don't understand Marvel Legends fans. Well, it's because of the different head sculpts. Those are really good. The articulation is what we've been asking for so long with Marvel Legends. The accessories finally match up. I think we talked about this earlier where we wanted more head sculpts. And to me, I always want these figures, these waves, to have a Build-A-Figure. I want my bonus extra figure like they've conditioned me to want since Marvel Legends Toy Biz Series 7, 6, whatever that was. I mean, I want to Build-A-Figure piece. That way I can have an extra figure. But I think they did a really good job with this one. Jake, I've collected pretty much every iteration of GI Joe except Sigma 6. Oh man, Sigma 6 was so cool. I mean, I did not want them, but I was like, these figures are pretty cool. I didn't collect GI Joe Extreme, but I was like, what are you doing to GI Joe? Make it stop, please. So for me, as a nostalgia connection I have with a lot of these GI Joe figures that I had growing up, I'm with you. TCP Toys have really been thinking on how Wonder Woman scale is going to look. Hopefully Wonder Woman scales well with the three Jokers, Batman. Also, I hope Todd reconsiders about female characters. Don't sell. He does female figures. It's just he chooses these really odd versions. Like, why did we get like 5 different Wonder Womans before we got the classic comic book version we all wanted? He delivered a Catwoman based off the movie. It's like, that really wasn't for kids. And he's done a Power Girl, he's done a Supergirl from video games. Where it's like, dude, you do the comic book versions, then everything else will work later. But if you're choosing these alternate versions, iterations of characters that nobody's really begging for, don't be upset when people don't buy those figures. Northern Nomad. I sold off my GI Joe classifieds. I just couldn't keep up with them anymore. Plus, needed money. I hope you got good money for them because those are really good figures. I wish I'd known if you had some Cobra Army builders, I might have been interested. Andre Montalongo. Hello, everybody. What's up, man? Hope you're doing well. Because that Wonder Woman is going to sell fast. Just watch. We're going to see more female characters from McFarlane Toys. We better, because there's a lot like Zatanna, Black Canary, Huntress. That would be really good figures. Aftershock. Jeff, do you know a figure company called Figma? Yes, because they just showed a link from Tears of the Kingdom figure. And I really like the arm because in that game it gets this new one. I don't know about Tears of the Kingdom, but I know Figma and I think they do pretty good stuff. So if you're going to get them, I think you could be okay with those figures. Jay, Northern Nomad. I understand how you feel. I've been sitting down my modern GI Joe collection and selling mint in the box stuff. Of that, I just don't need. Oh man, that's funny. People are starting to get out on GI Joe Classified series. Ryan, I think my Marvel Legends collection is coming to an end soon. There's still figures, characters I want, but no real sense of urgency. Also planning to sell off some of my collection. That is interesting. I feel like what we're seeing now is people are going, "I got these lines that I really like. I'm kind of iffy on these other ones. I need to sell off so I can focus on the ones that I really want." I'm not sure. And some of this is because eBay's a ripoff with their ridiculous fees. And then, oh, I didn't get this figure that you said that you sent. And you're holding the figure in hand. Anyway, but yeah, I think it's really interesting. I'm looking at my figure room. I don't know if I'm going, yeah, I need to get rid of that set. Now, if Mayfax did a full all out DC collectibles, DC classic style library of characters, then I probably saw my DC classics figures. But because I know that's probably not going to happen, at least not until 2148. I think I want to keep them and set slowly, oh, so slowly, add more of them. And I'm nudging, pointing over to my DC Mayfax Steel, which was amazing. Really awesome. Love that figure. I'll be doing a video on the best Steel figure real soon. We'll see what McFarlane brings, but really happy with that one. But yeah, I'm that's interesting that some of y'all are selling off your collections of stuff you don't want. I'm seeing that more and more, so you can focus on the one that you really care about. Henry G, what's up, man? Hope you're having a great Thursday. Being a Fine Figures in the building too. Hello, good sir. Hello to you as well. Hope everything is awesome on your end. Randall, what's up? Was able to score the San Diego Comic-Con Nightfall Batman Art McFarlane site where you put your name in the hat and hope. Excited for Retro Duke and Scarlet. That Flash is awesome. Trying to get Captain Atom. I'm curious if you see the figure in a store, if you're going to be as hyped up for Captain Atom. I was like, oh man, because that first shot was like, this is awesome. This is great. Get to add another character to my JLI collection. But in hand, seeing him on the shelves was kind of underwhelming. So I'm really curious what you're going to think when you see him. But please let me know how hyped up you are when you get that Nightfall Batman. Jamelin, that Flash is pretty decent. I do have a few gripes, but it's good. However, I really did the classic Jay Garrick. Great figure. I love that one too. Let me know what your gripes are on this Flash before I open them up. I'm going to open them, but I'm just curious what you didn't like about them. Marvel Legends hit its peak 3 years ago. I think it's 3 years ago. That would be 2020, the middle of the pandemic. I don't know. I feel like they've done better figures lately. Now, maybe it's too far too late for some collectors, but I think they put out some really good figures as of late. I mean, that Chode wave's pretty good. This Iron Man solid. All of these Avengers 2-packs, I think they've been really good just from seeing pictures. Black Widow, and I don't really care about the Spider-Man retro wave, but I think those figures look good. So I don't know. I'm curious what you all think, because I feel like Marvel Legends is finally turning the corner, because these last 2 years were real shaky in terms of figures that I wanted, but now I'm way more invested, way more. Oh wow, I got so many more Marvel Legends figures on my to buy list than I did just 2 years ago. Andre, I don't mind paying more for a certain figure, but what I don't mind is the obvious drop in overall quality. That hurts. Yeah, I think that was the problem. Marvel Legends was raising their prices, giving us the same quality of figures before. I feel like they're trying, even though the accessories are still a little bit limited. But for me, you can make a figure. Some cases, gosh, I don't have anything I want to show. My accessories are going into a bag. Here we go. Wow. All kinds of chaos and madness going on. I am doing this live. So this is my baggie of the Iron Man accessories. He needs more. They need to do better in terms of this, because I feel like if I were paying $25 for that, that wouldn't do well at all. But this way was $22.99, and I feel like maybe Hasbro's figured out we don't need to charge this price point for our figures. So for $22.99, I'm more inclined to buy figures without waiting on clearance. Having said that, most of the Marvels wave, I think, will hit clearance. Maybe Commander Rogers is the only one that I'll get at this $22.99 price point. Feeling pretty confident and comfortable with buying Karnak for $12.49 a few months down the road. But I guess it depends on what the next Marvel Legends wave to hit will be. Ski Raider, I love GI Joe most. I truly roughed the entire 80s into the 90s. I also got representations of Marvel, DC, Motu, wrestling, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and tons of comic IPs. I even had some Power Rangers, Star Wars, Star Trek. You got it. You got my kind of collection, man, where it's just a little bit of everything and just look around in one corner. This is awesome. That's awesome. And just a smorgasbord of cool stuff. Northern Nomad. I'm mainly just sticking to Marvel Legends and McFarlane and DC now. Also, a few miscellaneous lines with NECA and Loose Collector. Those two will get you really hard because NECA is putting out tons of good stuff, especially if you're getting Ninja Turtle stuff. Blake, I collect mostly on nostalgia, comic and cartoon figures I had as a kid. Also, figures, toys that have been updated 20, 30, 40 years later. Yeah, it's wild thinking some of these figures we had when we were little kids. And it's like, this is the version of this figure, this character that I always wanted. And I definitely feel that the most with Transformers, where it's like, he looks like the cartoon and he transforms. This is amazing. But I still get really hyped up, really excited when I get these GI Joe Classified series figures, when I get a really good Marvel Legends figure, especially a first time, never been done before figure. So getting a Drax like this and a Moon Dragon like this, that's really exciting. And different cooler versions of figures. I don't mind paying for an updated one because it's like, oh, this is such an improvement. Skew Raider. So if I look outside of Joe, others can check for Joe. I open myself to other stuff. I open myself to other stuff besides just what I grew up with. I focus on those. Thundercats being an example. Thundercats is, man, I wish those figures were available for me to just grab them. I need to check my combo store, Third Eye Comics. If you're in this area, you know all about Third Eye Comics. But I need to see them in hand just so I can be really, really, really sure I want to start getting into it. Christopher, as a Canadian living 30 minutes from the border, Target is sadly a 2 to 3 hour road trip, traffic depending. Yikes. Man, it isn't worth it when you go because that would be the worst. Taking a 2 to 3 hour road trip, it is like nothing but old stuff in there. Ski Raider, recently I've gotten rid of some lines that haven't been bringing it. So much Joe stuff dropping. Absolutely. You be playing. I wish McFarlane would do Zod from the Flash so I could use him with my red and blue Cavill. He hasn't done a Zod yet, has he? Because he only did a slightly comic book version. I guess it was from Rebirth, so I shouldn't say kind of. But yeah, he hasn't done that. I want a Terrence Stamp Zod from McFarlane. That would be cool. And maybe a Christopher Reeve one. I would buy that 100%. Get them dollies at Ollie's. I like Ollie's. Jay, I wish Hasbro would spread out GI Joe Classified releases a little bit better instead of dropping everything in quarter 3 and 4 for the most part. Speaking of, I need to pull this up because this was like, whoa, it's real out here with what's coming. And Classic Toys UK posted this on X, and it was just showing exactly what you're talking about, Jay, with everything coming out. And it's so much stuff. I don't have to blow this up a little bit more because it is so much stuff. And like you said, it's just so much stuff dropping at one point. So we've got Snowdrop. He's supposed to come around September and maybe in August if you're in the EU, UK, August as well. Then we got the Valkyries. We got Chuckles, Range Viper, Big Ben, Tripwire, Trouble Bubble, Nunchuck, the Eel, Crimson Strike Team, Tunnel Rat, Firefly, Crimson Viper, Low Light, Grunt, Viper, Tiger Force Flint, Night Force Shooter, Crimson Alley Viper, Snake Eyes Desert Commando, Snow Serpent, Mole Rat, Steel Core, Fire Team, and Shadow Tracker. All this stuff is dropping anywhere, if you're in the US, between September 15th to December 1st. And let me count up real fast because November is going to be just hellacious on your wallet. There is Chuckles, there is Nunchuck, Tunnel Rat, Firefly, Crimson Viper, Low Light, Grunt, Viper, Tiger Force Flint, Night Force Shooter, Crimson Alley Viper, Mole Rat, and Steel Core, and the Fire Team all coming in November. So that is a ton of stuff dropping for GI Joe Classified series. That's so great for my wallet. I'm excited about it, but there's a lot coming. And you're like me, you pre-ordered a bunch of GI Joe Classified stuff. So when it hits, it's going to bam, it's going to Zeus, not Debo, knock you all the way out when it hits your wallet. Stickman, what's up? I'm pretty much done with Marvel Legends now. I think Haslab Galactus was my in-game figure. That's a pretty solid final figure if you're going to wrap up your Marvel Legends collection. Doc Avenger, what's up? Man, my wallet empty. The Joes, Marvel Legends, Mayfex, Loose Collector stuff, Cosmic Legions. AWOP, man, I have to clean up my card. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff to come for the wallet too, and especially the time frame they've hit. Because normally you could say it's like, hey, look what I've got over 6 months, but lately it's been like over the last 2 weeks. Yeah, we have Quake there alongside that long-haired Cyclops Build-A-Figure wave with Viking long-haired Magneto. Destiny is old. Sorry, that's the Last Kingdom for those of y'all who did not watch it. And if you have not, I highly recommend it. Tom Finn, 2018's in the building. 3 cases of controller wave in my local Ollie's 2 weeks ago in the Jacksonville area. Quake was missing from 2 of the cases, but there was one in the third. Wow. Jamelin, I am like you. I just recently completed the controller as well. I didn't really want to pay full or inflated prices for that Thor, so I just bought the head for $10 from an eBay seller. The Thor figure is actually really surprisingly fun. He's got the crows, the ravens. I like the figure. I definitely would have been happier paying for him for eBay. But this is why you cautiously use your birthdays and Christmas or whatever. So, I don't really want this figure, but I'll put it on my list. So my brother got me that Thor figure, and I was really happy because, I didn't want to pay full price for him, but I'm really happy I got it. Being a fine figure, got my hands on the Nightfall Batman through EQL McFarlane. Man, so we've got 2 people who made out pretty well getting that one. And you guys got to do us a solid and tell us how amazing that figure is so the rest of us get really jealous. 80s Kid, I really hope McFarlane delivers with a Batmobile from the Batman. That movie was awesome. I'm glad you liked it. Roberts, my 3 Joes are Firefly, Lowlight, and Range Viper. I'll probably only get the first 2 at this rate. I don't know. Haslab Ghost could come through. Don't give up hope yet. And we still have Furay William and Master Wing to come. Yeah. It's a lot of stuff coming. James Green, anyone pre-order any 97 X-Men figures? I got Gambit and Bishop. They're on my list. I figure I can wait on them. Definitely for sure Magneto, Wolverine, probably Gambit and Bishop as well. Christopher, I haven't been able to find a Range Viper anywhere. Yes. Mercer first. Nice Kevin McGuire, Justice League artwork, and you're back. Thank you. I met him too. I met Kevin McGuire at EmeraldCon in Seattle. Got a similar artwork sign. Sorry to digress. Carry on. Kevin McGuire is such a cool dude. Like in my basement, I have his take on the classic Silver Age Justice League and that iconic JLA cover. And I also have what's my other one? Just the MCU version because I love his style and the way he does the expressive faces. He was so cool to me too. Blake Turf. He says, let's get some tats on Quick Kick's ankles. No, sir. I'm just going to have to do my little Mr. Clean eraser on those. These TCP toys, I only collect DC McFarlane now. I was thinking about collecting this Mortal Kombat line, but since MK rebooted, I don't know if he's going to continue with the MK11. Probably not. I think you're okay dropping out. 80s Kid, totally any classified Hawk, Shipwreck, Bazooka, Rock and Roll, and Lowlight. Maybe I'll get Tunnel Rat and Sergeant Slaughter too. You haven't gotten the Sarge yet? Eddie's disease. You got to get Sarge though, man. He's great. Daniel, I got Necron for 25. Nightfall, Batman, Page Puncher, Supergirl, Green Arrow, and Lantern. Build-A-Figure for $10. Really good deal. Spawn with Throne, 15. Obi-Wan Jabim, $20. And Flashpoint Flash. I was struggling to find him. Same. I always feel like he's the only figure there. It's not like you can choose between the best 2 for those flashes. Randall, I buy G1 Transformers, select DC Multiverse, all in for DC Superpowers, the remaining indie figures, OG vintage Star Wars. Did you get the Ghosts or do they not count in terms of your collection? Select WWE Legends, 80s and 90s, all in for GI Joe, select Legends. You got a great collection going too. Christopher Vose, remember, no matter where you go, there you are. Was that Yogi Berra, or did he just use that from someone else? Because Yogi Berra has some really great sayings. Mercer first, I nearly built out my Justice League Europe team with DC Collectibles. I want to build out the JLE team with McFarlane toys, but not sure we'll ever get a mullet Captain Atom. Bart Sears classic mullet version. Yeah. And I have that team with my DC collection too. Do you have the DC Classics version or DC Direct? Because I'm really curious. I should probably take a photo of those. I really like having them, even though the Fire and Ice is not the best. That Iron Man figure looks astonishing. He looks invincible. Yes, he was a really fun figure. I like him. Roberts, I'll take that bet on worst Walmart. We still got Carl Weathers from Mando. Just hang out, dude. Yeah. And he's a good figure. I don't understand why he just has such a problem with selling because he's a really good figure. Jay says, Mr. Cheeseburger, growing up with me and my older brother would have GI Joe battles. I was always Cobra. He's always GI Joe. My father to this day only likes to buy me Cobra figures as gifts. That's cool that your dad is buying you Joe or Cobra figures. CTB Toys. I hope Todd can go back to complete the Crime Syndicate members. We still need a Johnny Quick and Atomica figure for this line. I got the space for them on my shelf. So there's good news on that front for at least one of them for you. Oops, cancel. About to leave out of the chat. That was not going to work out well for any of us. There we go. McFarlane does have Atomica on the way, and she's going to be part of this 3-pack with oh, perfect. That worked out so helpful. So let's see here if I can pull this up fast enough. There we go. Okay. To actually make sure I was going to do that right, so you weren't going to not be able to see it based off of the picture. So this is the 2-pack Superman for tomorrow, or Superman versus Superman of Earth 3. Atomica is included in this set. She's right here. A little small version. Doesn't look like she moves whatsoever, but she is included in this. I'm not quite sure how they would do it a different way if, because I really wish they could do an articulated Ant-Man and Wasp, but I just don't think they can figure that out. And with those small figures, hopefully all the details on her face will be painted, because that's always the thing with those smaller figures that annoys me. It's like, can we make this just paint the eyes in there so I can just have the illusion of it? Mr. Cheeseburger, thank you so much. That is a very excellent question. How is Black Widow better than Spiral? Really? That's a really good question. I guess those will be the two in the finals of the best female figure for 2023 for the Marvel Legends division. I think those are the two that's going to be in the finals in the championship round. That's a really good question, though, because Spiral was an awesome figure. Maybe some people got her last year and are going, shorter term memory. Black Widow's a really good figure. She's the best one now. Maybe that new articulation won over people. That's a really good question, though. Maybe everybody who has both of them can tell us. Needed Wonder Man, Wasp, Scarlet Witch, Beast, and I felt, yeah. Well, it was becoming a juggling thing because my stands are trash and I have such a hard time keeping everyone balanced on there just right, and Wasp just wasn't going to work on that. Valiver sent out a poll in their newsletter. What do you think of the color options for the Vanguard? So let me pull that up because I did see it, and I think it's really good to give collectors the option for something as opposed to just, here's the color we're going to go with, and hope you guys like it. I did see it on Toy News. Yeah. So let's see. This is the different options for that Valiverse big massive truck. And kind of like the gray, the light gray Night Force version, but I also like the tan one because that's a different color. Because I think of green, I think of GI Joe green. So I think between the Night Force charcoal gray and the green, so the two to the right, I think those are more, my favorites. What do you think? Robin is collecting. What's up? I pre-ordered the new X-Men wave. Do you think they're gonna make a new Nightcrawler? I would assume so. I think for sure his chances increase dramatically if he shows up in the series. But I would imagine they understand throwing in more random more random X-Men is always better, and it helps Hasbro because they have an excuse then to put that figure out in the line. Excuse me. Mr. Cheeseburger. That's why I love GI Joe. I still read the comics. There's nothing better. You have a cool dad. Yeah, he does. Are you still reading the modern stuff, or you're going back and rereading the old Larry Hama issue 1 all the way through again? Because I'm really in the, now they got rock and roll, kind of like, all right, it's time to go back and revisit and reread GI Joe all over again for like the 10th or 15th time. You'll probably be able to buy 2 of the bands for the cost of 1 Vanguard. I mean, yeah, Hasbro was like, not so fast, Maliverse. We got the vamp coming, and I can't wait to see it in PostCon. So I'm very excited about that. Ken Robinson, what up? What's up, Jeff? To answer the question, I prioritize Bills first. Smart man. Then Marvel Legends, Joe classified after that. And that's the way to do it. Loading Snacks. What's up in the building? Loading Snacks. Guys, make sure to check out Loading Snacks. They do really, really great content. And if you're a con fan, make sure to check them out. They have all these great interviews. Check out the fam. The Target in Leesburg has been solid for me. I need to go take a visit to the Target in Leesburg because I'm always on the move for good stuff and fully stocked Targets. Rodney says, wise man, Ken. Yes, Ken, you're the inspiration to all of us. Pay for your bills first, then you're fine. Doc Avenger. Affleck is the best looking Batman. Mezco Severin Knight is my only Batman. All the rest suck. Oh, animated Batman is cool. I agree. The Affleck Batman is the one on multiple levels. That JYD is still easy to get on the secondary market too. Perfect. Yeah, I think it's a good figure. So definitely, there's an option. Go for it. Blake, it's a cheeseburger. Spiral isn't new anymore. With collectors, as soon as get figures in hand, we say, "What's next? Give me the new." I'm totally guilty of that because as soon as I got this Iron Man, I'm like, all right, time for my wish list of the rest of the Heroes Return Avengers team. I need a box set similar to the West Coast Avengers. Here's what you do and make that happen. So I'm totally guilty of that as well. Dark Knight 297. What up, Jeff? What up? Just got my new Marvel Legends Avengers Black Widow. Now I can put up the extra short hairstyle. Here's head sculpt on my classified cover girl. That is the way to go. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, that takes the cover girl figure, which just needed a better head sculpt, all the way over the top. And really, is she better than Lady J? Because I kind of feel like she might be. And I wouldn't mind a retro, better version of Lady J, quietly, even though she's all over the pegs. Great man. Andre did Bam Bam dirty. Wow, yeah. But Bam Bam was out there doing some wild stuff. Mercer first. TCB Toys said Hot Wheels. I heard Hot Toys. I'm probably sure I said both because yeah, I collect Hot Toys and then Hot Wheels. I don't. So yeah, to answer the question, TCB Toys don't collect Hot Wheels, but I do collect Hot Toys. Green Man, the only thing my targets have are Dingo Warriors. Dingo Warrior was cool. I just finished watching most of his run in World Class. It's fun. Couldn't wrestle, but you know, nice different color combinations. It's cool seeing the genesis of the Ultimate Warrior character. Gary Steele, what's up? JYD had a Legends Chase figure that had blue pants tights. They need to do the Carolina blue. That's what they needed to do. I'm surprised they went with that darker blue. I never saw that Chase. That was one of the few that I just never found in my area because I for sure would have bought him. The Looster 15. What's going on? I've never been a completionist. I've been one of those people who pick and prioritize already. Good for you. That is probably the smarter way to go. Gary Steele says that 97 X-Men looks pretty good to me. It does. I think they really knocked out that whole wave of figures and really impressed with how they turned out. Pull them up real fast because yeah, I did want to talk about those for a hot second. Even though we broke them down, was it just last week? Because it feels like we just talked about it. But yeah, that Bishop head sculpt, solid. Magneto also looks really good. Gambit's head sculpt is really good. Maybe it needs a little wash to get more of a comic book style, but the expression, perfect. Rogue has a good head sculpt. It's just the hair that kind of messes her up. Wolverine's a standout. Storm also has a really good head sculpt. Maybe do a little bit different with the hair, but really nice work on this whole set of figures and definitely going to get more than I thought when they were, you know, when it was rumored back in the day from Rectangular. I was like, yeah, whatever. So definitely happy with those. Robin is collecting. Why does McFarlane still use pens? I hate the pens. You know, he didn't have a lot of Spider-Man characters where it's like, oh no, the red is showing on the blue side. So as long as that's not an issue, I'm fine. TCB Toy says, I passed on Nightfall Batman for two reasons. One, his scale. Two, I don't know if he's going to scale well with the new Wonder Woman. Also, I don't like my Batman the same scale as Nightwing. I didn't buy Nightwing because his scale looked off to me. So And for me, I'm gonna have to keep those separate as needed. And I don't think that Nightwing really works with Nightfall Batman anyway. So I would probably use the Hush Batman alongside that Nightwing anyway. So I don't know if you're just gonna do one or just skip it or whatever. 80s kid, I knew Robin was gonna be out of scale. This is why. Yeah, you knew better than I did. I was so hyped up and excited and just crushed and disappointed. Documentary. That's why I don't like McFarlane figures. The scale or the pins. And that's why I'm going for Mezco Robin. Yeah, that's a really nice looking figure. Intimate Snob, what's going on? Saul McFarlane is bringing back the dragons, but I ain't feeling them because they're not articulated. Well, that doesn't work either. DJ Jedi is in the building. Todd's scaling remains chaotic. Martian Manhunter too short. Yes, I was so upset. Having that figure is like, this is a great figure, and then put him next to other characters. Like, why is he shorter than Booster Gold or Blue Beetle? It's terrible. Robbins is too tall. Yep. CCB Toys. Yeah, I agree with you on Captain Adam. And the source material is 6'4" and is taller than Superman, or sometimes the same height as Superman. Todd needs to take notes on the source material. He needs a ruler because for real, there's no reason that he should have any Nightwing figure towering over or the same height as Batman. And nothing, not even the most modern artist who has no idea of scale, would make Nightwing eye to eye with Bruce. It just doesn't work. DJ Jedi says McFarlane's never going to be great till he starts putting thigh swivel on his figures. I'm trying to think now. I think the articulation's okay for the most part. Like Damian Wayne, his figure is really bad in terms of articulation, but I'm okay with most of the articulation for the most part with their figures. Doc Avenger says Marvel Legends DC icons, Mythic Legion, Cosmic Legion, Thundercats, ho, Gargoyles, and GI Joes. With DC icons, are you talking about the old, really great figures that they stopped way too soon? Wow, love those figures. Dark Knight 297, that McFarlane Tim Drake is a perfect example of why I don't mess with his DC multiverse line. His scaling is trash. And I love DC Comics so much. Well, I think what we can do is really, really, really hope that when Mayfex finally gets around to it, they'll scale him properly. I was really hyped, really excited to see that Steel is actually scaled properly to Superman based on how he looked back in Reign of the Superman. I wasn't expecting it because I was like, well, there are enough examples, enough instances where he's the same height. But the fact that they actually got the scale proper, so Superman is shorter than Steel, really had me excited. And here's to show you real fast, they're scaling so much better. And again, well, I don't mind paying a little bit extra because if you're going to scale something and scale it properly, I'm all about the figures and sign me up, bring me more, really want them. This is another shot, but I mean, this is the Hush Superman compared to Steel. It Steel's bigger. It's like, that's great. Do more of this. So when they hopefully get around to doing that Robin, Tim Drake, he will be scaled properly. So he's looking up at both Nightwing and Bruce Wayne. Christopher, Toys R Us is alive and well in Canada, though. Yes. Oh, and the Philippines. So now I got 2 different ways to get my Toys R Us fix. I just need to hop onto a plane and do my thing. Did you get the classified Tripwire as per your avatar? Hey, Ryan, I would assume that he did. Or Blake, I would assume that Ryan did. So hopefully he'll let us know. Being a fine figure. Got my Black Widow, Scrap Iron, Fei Long, and Vampire Superman. Very excited. It's a well-rounded collection. You got a Marvel Legend, you got a GI Joe, a Jada Toy Street Fighter, and a DC Multiverse figure. That is well-rounded. Hasbro released tons of Star Wars figures before the films came out. When Toys R Us, they did. Were you there when they did the opening? That was so fun to get out there and like, who are these guys? Who's Rick Ollie? Little did we know that he was going to form Ollies. Stacy, there's 2 Jeffries. One is spelled correctly and one is with a G. You got to laugh for me. Thank you, Stacy. Woogie Sasquatch. Boss Man is hitting the shelves today. They reset the toy aisles last night. He has his own place on the shelf and everything. If it's empty, ask someone because they just haven't put them out yet. Ooh, some of my stores, they'll be happy to help. But others like, you want what? No, they're in the back. We can't go back there. Blaze Star 2, very easy for me. I would buy DC if I thought they were any good at all, but I don't like McFarlane DC at all. I bought 5 since he took over. Do you hate the 5 that you bought? Because I would probably buy more, but the scaling's a problem. So I think I'm just gonna have to stick to the adult characters, the signature classic ones where the scale should, for the most part, work out okay, even though they're Martian Manhunter. Not the best. Roberts, Black Widow has updates we've asked for in female figures for many years, and really great figure all around. I think we can open up our hearts to have room for both Spiral and Black Widow. Let's start. So Marvel's getting all my money, along with Black Series, Joes, and Power Rangers. Well, you're going to save even more money on Power Rangers because apparently Hasbro is putting them on hiatus for a little bit. So we'll see how long that lasts. Randall says Hasbro needs a new tooling of the Iron Man from after the first Armor Wars when the Scarlet Centurion armor was destroyed. Well, that was the modular armor. Was that? That wasn't. That was the Neo Classic armor. They really do need to do that version again because what we have, not great, and they really, really need a better version because that one is such a great armor, and it fits in with classic looks, classic eras from the different Marvel Legends time periods, and it just looks cool. It's a great armor, and we just need a better one because what we have isn't great. I think that's the one you're talking about, Randall. If so, I just went on a rant for no reason, but we do need a better version of that armor. Blaze I have 6 DCs, 3 Marvels, and a Fantasy Earth. All right. Roberts, the rumored MCU wave and No Way Home wave hold no interest for me. The anniversary Wolverine theories have a few possibilities, but not sweating it. Yeah, I think that's the good way to look at it. If there's something that you kind of want, anytime they go MCU at this point, I'm kind of like, yeah, thanks. I'll wait till the next comic wave hits. Jamelin, my main gripes with the Flash is the one fist, one trigger finger, no alternate situation. I wonder, can we swap out that old Flash for those hands, or is the red just different enough that we can't use it? But it also bugs me that all the speedsters come with lightning effects except the most iconic Flash. But he does have a different head sculpt. He does have the cowl down and the Barry head sculpt. Oh no, man! I said that's why I dropped GI Joe Classified. Too much, too fast. That sounds like the Captain Marvel theme. Happy Accident in the building. Yo, yo, yo. When will McFarlane make a traditional Batfleck figure? Well, why would he when he get everybody to buy these box set versions? Mr. Cheeseburger, vintage collectors of Star Wars. My hat's off to you for backing that $500 Haslab. I guess the only Haslab will fail is Marvel Legends. Let's see. I forgot to check in on the progress of said Ghost. When I last checked, it's kind of slowed down since they did the funding, kind of like the Dragonfly, where we saw it got back pretty quickly, and then all of a sudden they got the surge to start getting all those tears knocked out. I'm really thinking that this is going to need to keep getting those tiers to get those additional figures, to get Ezra, to get Kanan, to get Zeb, because I can see a lot of people backing out if the only ones they're going to get from this are Hera and Half Chopper, because that's the key with this one. You need all the crew, and if you don't get them, I think some people could back out just because not enough people have supported it. But it's still over a month, so plenty of time for people to get it. I think it's being hurt by all these figure waves that are coming out and so much stuff hitting. So we'll see what happens. Pre-order Tripwire right away, expecting him to arrive in December. I think he's going to arrive sooner because people already have him in hand. And it's like, okay, you guys are rolling much faster than anticipated with these figures. So I think he's going to be here much sooner than we thought. We're seeing some pictures now of the trouble bubble. So yeah, those dates that they have are just kind of like, yeah, sure, maybe, but who knows? Pop this up real fast. So, as I'm sure you've seen it, Ryan, but for everybody else who hasn't, some in-hand pictures of Tripwire. Looks ready to start going after it and doing a thing, find those devices that Firefly left. And he looks great. Really cool looking figure, nice head sculpt. And Yeah, getting another classic GI Joe character, like the backpack, got the mines there, the mine detector, and then you could just take this big bulky piece off, go with this, and comes with a lot of accessories. Definitely has a deluxe feel to him. His pet rat, ugh. He's got his drone bomb sniffer device too. Really cool. I'm really happy about what they did with Tripwire here, and this is an army builder for those of you who want that style of Tripwire, but yeah, very, very happy with how he turned out. And as always, GI Joe Classified Series delivers another great winner. This is from Jason Yu. Not sure where he is located, but yeah, there's more GI Joes coming really soon. I keep checking it. He's still available. I'm on the fence on whether to wait for the discount. I feel like they're reaching a point where people are going for those Cobra Army builders, and I think characters like Snow Job, Tripwire, and the other deluxe Joes are going to linger around a little bit longer. I don't know if they're going to put them up for the Hasbro Fall Black Friday Christmas holiday time period, whenever they do that next pulse sale. I would love to get them for cheaper, even if it's just like 20%, but probably have to wait for the next round. I assume the Rock and Roll Shipwreck, Copperhead, that crew will be up on that sale, but probably not for the other ones. Randall, the San Diego Comic Con Batman is freaking awesome. Only $30 with $8 for shipping. Not terrible because regular figures are like $12 shipping there. I can see Todd releasing a non-cell shaded version and an all black version. He now needs a Nightfall, Nightwing, and Final Azrael. Yes. As well as the OG Azrael and the Demon Lord Abyss. I really want to see what he would do with OG Azrael because that would be great. Raymond, what's going on? Wonder how much will be the Vamp McClutch? Thinking 150 is the cap for it, the absolute cap. Because I feel like if they went higher than that, people would be upset. I think if they can keep it under 150, they're really going to work well. And I think Hasbro understands that this is something we've got two more iterations. We got Vamp 2, we got the Stinger. We'll make that money back on these molds. So we shouldn't charge too much because we'll get people to buy multiples of this later on down the road. I know for sure if it's under 125, then you can put me down for the Stinger. You can put me down for the Vamp too, because it's like, cool. You understand that it's not ridiculous. You don't need to charge so much money for it. But I really care about Clutch and the Vamp in the first place. So if it's just that, then I'll be happy I got those. Dennis Goodman, what's going on? What do you think an Evil Duke classified repaint would look like? A Tiger Force Duke. Would that be something you could see yourself buying if Hasbro went that route to go with your Cobra Squad? It's kind of interesting because they're doing the Shattered Glass deal with Transformers. So I wonder if they would do like a Crimson Duke or like maybe they're undercover. So that's probably something that the Joe team would kind of experiment with. And, you could have a separate mask, go Ethan Hunt style Mission Impossible, where you have a swappable mask for him. Why did they do that with Chuckles, by the way? Mr. Cheeseburger. Only the old 1 through 153. That is the real GI Joe. I'm trying to remember. Was 153 the final issue where Snake Eyes is writing to Wade's son and Sean? And was 155 just like the hey, here's some untold stories of GI Joe? Hey, check that out. Given they're charging 55 for the Trouble Bubble and a figure, I think the Vamp and figure will be 120, maybe 150. I think that is exactly where they need to stop. So hopefully that'll work. Is that a new code on Gamut? I think so. I think it's not that same terrible one that they've had with so many other ones. Let me check real fast. Let's see. Is this a new code? Seems like it's a little bit more. You know what? I think they did mention it's a newer coat because I don't feel like it flared. I don't think it flares out the same as those other trench coats. I think it is a different, better version. So hopefully that articulation isn't crazy. But yeah, I think it does look like a new coat. Gambit's hair is awesome. The Miz would be proud of that hair too. Dr. Avenger is not. X-Men 97 or Easy Pass. Afterchild is looking for that Dark Revan. So if you guys know, help him out. I'm still waiting on my Masterverse Panther. Yeah, 80s kid. I feel like we have not gotten him at all. Raymond, if Hasbro leaves a lot of Vamp assembly with us, hope costs will be under 100. I would love to do that. That was one of my favorite things with the vehicles. Just piecing them together myself, putting stickers on. I know some people don't like that, but oh man, that would trigger all my nostalgia buttons. Being able to go, okay, this goes where? Okay, and I gotta figure out the instructions where the stickers go. That would be so much fun. I almost want them to do that now, just so I could snap everything in piece and then put the stickers on to finish it off. Is that new Mezco Wolverine figure worth it? Are you talking about the Tiger Stripe one, or are we talking about the new one that they have just shown? The one in the team outfit. Because from looking at that Wolverine from the classic Tiger Stripe one, he looks great. Um, he really looks good. He's expensive though, but I don't know. I mean, I think as always, worth it is whatever you're willing to pay for it. But this is a really nice looking Wolverine. He's sold out right now on Entertainment Earth. But all those different head sculpts really do a great job in terms of showing off that value. So we got old school, more mature, more streamlined hair. They got wilder hair. Then we got the classic old version where he's about to fight the Wendigo and Hulk. A little angry sculpt on that too. Then more of a classic look, angry, fierce one. Then I just got whooped down by Sabretooth, scratched up head sculpt, and then the neutral one. So lots of head sculpt options, claw hand options, claw effects, lots of stuff. I think in terms of a Wolverine figure, this one really delivers what you would want, and it's classic comic book style. So I wouldn't be upset about that one. Comics and Cafe. What's going on? What happens when the vamp is like $89.99? I'm gonna do a little happy dance. I'm gonna do like Bruce Willis at the end of The Last Boy Scout and dance a jig. I will be really ecstatic if it's that cheap. Magic on Plero, the new Magneto head sculpt reminds me of the 64 X-Men #4 comic by Kirby. Now I don't feel like you can ever go wrong when you try to do a cover based off of Jack Kirby's artwork. There we go. That was easier than I thought to pull up. Who knew? Sometimes it actually works out. So let's see. This is what you're talking about. So I kind of see it. I think that does work for that Magneto head sculpt. And yeah, like I think that's something they haven't done enough of. Try to get that silhouette look for Magneto's head sculpt, but that's definitely would work. And I'm happy with this Magneto. I'm really excited about getting that one. Christopher Rose asked, Farley can release a Batmobile and Batman for $74.99. How come Hasbro charges $54.99 for Trouble Bubble and a Televiper? Hasbro's prices are a little bit wonky. I don't feel like this is a terrible price for the Trouble Bubble and Viper because the Televiper would be $25 on his own. So that just means the Trouble Bubble is, just a little bit more. So I don't hate that price. Would I wish it were cheaper? Yes, but it's kind of like a deluxe plus set. So I don't feel like we're getting charged too much because what the pets cost $41.99. So getting the actual vehicle that you can army build later, I don't think it's terrible. Randall, I do have 90% of the DC Universe classics from Mattel. Missing about 10 figures. Part of the Giganto Wave Ultra Humanite. Ultra Humanite's a really good figure. Hopefully you can track it down. It's not too ridiculously expensive. And Chemo Wave. Love that they included superpower designs and Super Friends. I don't mind them. I really hated that they did a whole Lantern Wave and then didn't do a Mara. It's like, come on, guys, what are y'all doing? Can't find figure. My Walmart is stocked than just the Aquaman. Terrible. You usually have to drive to other towns to figure out. I wish. BLR Sierra 117 this past month was a killer for the wallet. Hasbro alone took a chunk of my money. Then McFarlane, San Diego Comic Con, and then Haslab. My bank account was sweating bullets. Nice. Todd needs a ruler. Funniest thing I heard all night. Thank you, Daniel. Try every so often. If I can make you guys laugh, I'm all about it. Happy accidents. 2024, I'm going legend scale third party Transformers almost exclusively. Stream cherry picking picks for other lines. Man, I would love to see that collection of those figures. Stoked for that McFarlane steel, but I have a soft spot for the DC superhero steel figure Mattel released way back in 2006. Listen, that soft spot you have, I'm right there with you. I think they did a really good job right away with Steel. And I don't feel like Steel's one of those characters who hadn't had a bad figure. And this is, there we go, a little bit better. Yeah, like I still don't think that DC superhero Steel looks bad. I think the Mayfex was kind of like, yo, here I am, the comic book version. And this DC Direct Steel, which I love still. I mean, I love all these Steel figures, but I think the Mayfex one really kind of decided I'm going to take this title now. Thank you so much, everyone. So, yeah, but you can't go wrong with any one of those Steel figures. Back in two of them, talking about the Ghost or the Valorverse truck. If your wallet is sweating bullets, at least it still has a pulse. Though it does raise some ethical questions about shoving a living creature into your back pocket. Tripwire does look great. Dang, he does come with two vests. So you can have different options for Tripwire. And I think that's really cool. And again, just shows you what the Classified Series team is all about, where it's like, yeah, we could just do an old school interpretation, or we could do a little bit something extra, make it more worth your money. And I keep feeling like they do that. Dark Knight, what the heck? Does the DC Multiverse Flash have one fist, a trigger hand, and no running hands? McFarlane needs to be stopped. Documenter, I need them to put up some more eels. It's the only pre-order I missed out on. Me too. And yeah, it's really unfortunate that they don't have him back up because I figure the eels, I don't know how big my army's going to be, but I think it needs to start at 10. So hopefully I can be able to get all of them. Aftershot, he looks like a juggernaut. We just need to give him a minigun and he would be perfect. Yes. What would the Flash need with running hands? Ezra Miller can't run. Talking about Ezra Miller so can run. Terrible. That was Iron Man armor, good sir. I love it too. They've given him some shrimp figures. It's like they cannot do it right. When they did that old retro series, I was like, what are y'all doing? I think they re-released a really old Iron Man. It's like, this is an opportunity to make a better version of it. We need that version updated, upgraded immediately. I mean, they've done basically every Iron Man armor that I want now, but that one's a real glaring like, hello, we need this one fixed. Please make this work. Chamberlain, I seriously think they'll try to put the vamp out for under 100. Considering the RAM being at $40 and the fact that if priced right, people will buy multiples. I'm with you because I feel like that's the way for them to go. If they can price it accordingly, people buy more and they'll be more inclined to buy the Stinger and the Mark II vamp. And then Tiger Force or Python Patrol vamp, I think they could use, or they could crank out so many versions of this like they've done with the RAM cycle on a larger level. And people would be like, yes, I'll take 2 Stingers because it's under $100. So I think the pricing is going to be really interesting on that. And hopefully by PulseCon, we'll get some more information on it. Major Gaplero, pre-order GI Joe Steel Corps Troopers to increase my Reavers ranks. Not your Steel Corps ranks. Interesting. Ryan Shadow, what's up? Yo, I'm going to have to pick up that Baxter Stockman. He kind of looks like you. How does he? He doesn't have as much gray hair as I do. Did Mayfax do a Rogue? If they don't, I hope so, because I will buy and we'll buy Gambits. They'll go perfect. The 2 married couples. I don't think they've done her yet. I think they've done most of that team. They've done Cyclops, Wolverine, Storm, Gambit, Jean Grey. Did I mention Psylocke already? So yeah, Rogue should be there if they haven't done her yet. And you know, she's gonna be a really cool figure when they do. So hopefully. Jalen, dude, even the Total Justice Steel was good. Yeah, you're right. I don't have that figure. That was when I was still, I'm a cool college student, and we don't need to buy comic book figures anymore. But thankfully that period of time vanished very quickly, and I came back to my senses. But yeah, man, they were doing great stuff all around. Steele's really been fortunate on the figure front, where he has managed to avoid loser versions like some other characters who's like they still can't get right. But yeah, popped them up real fast. They did some fun stuff, and Steele continues to have benefited on the front of great figures. JMJ, I don't know why I'm gonna call you Junior. JMJR30. What's going on? I just can't do Mezco. They look like stocky dolls. I think if you got way back in the day with Mego figures, you'd probably feel a little bit different. Like, oh, okay, it's like better versions of Mego figures. But if you didn't, I could definitely understand why you'd be like, no, thank you. I wasn't down for them because they were doing their tweaks to the figures, and I just wanted classic looks. Now they're starting to do that more. I'm like, uh-oh, I still can't buy it. Don't do it. Don't do it. But the Fantastic Four, the Dr. Doom look really great. And the Spider-Man comic book version, Very nice as well. I'm hoping we get a Captain America Marvel Legends next. We have gotten really good versions of him. Which one do you want? Let's see Lions BK. Superman is the accessory in the Doomsday set. Annoyed with this double dipping with the movie Blue Beetle. What's the difference, is, if any, with the gold label comic Blue Beetle figure? Well, once again, he can't see us because they didn't make his goggles translucent. I would have bought that figure right fast if they had just made the goggles the way he appears 99% of the time in comic books. I would have bought that. I think his colors are slightly different too, but really, and he has some different hands, but I don't know why they didn't fix the goggles. That was a perfect opportunity because that would have encouraged a double dip for me, and I'm sure a lot of other collectors too. Ryan, I am so in love with classified line right now, but since I've limited my collection to 80 to 85 characters, there are less than 20 unannounced characters on my wish list. I might be done by 2025. Shoot, at this rate, 2024, they're pulling out a whole bunch of stuff. Robin is collecting. I hope we get a Midnight Suns wave. I think we will eventually. Just depends on how this Iron Man figure does. Being a fine figure. Maybe the Hasbro team will surprise us and have the vamp for around $79.89. I would be very happy if that was the price. Happy accident. Look, we can wish for $100 vamps all day. The fact is, we're talking Hasbro here, aka Hasbro. Hasbro, dudes. All right, Ryan. I read somewhere around SDCC that the vamp and clutch will be $99.99 US. Not sure if that came from somewhere official or just speculation. That would be the perfect price point for that. And, I'm sure, I don't know. I mean, do we think that needs to be a post exclusive, or they can try to pull that out at Target, make it exclusive? Hopefully not Walmart. And I think Target would be like, oh, they're buying this for $100. Let's have more vehicles. So hopefully that work out. Darth Primus, what's going on? Yeah, I thought the first Mezco figure, the Dark Knight Returns Batman, was an updated and expensive Mego figure. I ended up selling my first Mezco figure. JLR Sierra. VLR Sierra 117 says, I'm excited for all the Mayfex reveals, but wish we would have gotten more additions to the Jim Lee team instead of starting other X-Men team versions. Yes, it's the Hasbro thing all over again. Instead of finishing the team we've started, let's go to a new one. And then let's start a new one that's going to take forever to complete. I don't know why they decided to go, let's do Age of Apocalypse. They could have done more X Factor. They've already done it with the blue and white Cyclops. If they did Jean Grey, I would have like, oh, I gotta buy another Mayfex figure. Because Randall, you're not selfish. Anytime you ask for George Perez inspired Avengers, Titans, or JLA, I think that should be what happens. So I'm with you. I would totally buy that. And anything George Perez's pencils, his hand, touch, I would buy figures of. And with his style, his whole look for the characters, I would buy them. Don't even care. 100% want them. So Devon Bernard. Hopefully I said that right. Maybe it's Devin. Let me know. I paid $100 for Serpentor. I can live with a $100 vamp and figure. Serpentor is good. This, man. Doc Venture. The Mezco figures are very good and nice looking. Way better than those Migos. I do wish they had more body scales. True. Daniel says, I collect Marvel Legends, the Black Series, and DC Multiverse. Transformers every so often. Transformers is my happy line because I don't have to buy everything. They just crank out the G1 figures and it's like, great, I'll take that. Because they have so many different versions of Transformers that I can really spread out my Transformer purchases. So I'm with you. I get the figures depending on which character it is. If they're exclusives and if the price is worth it. I am absolutely with you, my friend. So let's see. Was there anything else I want to talk about before we wind this bad boy down? Oh, right. There was one more thing I want to talk about. And Jamie is with me. That isn't selfish at all. Sounds like this is for the greater good. Absolutely. I mean, you cannot go wrong if you have George Perez's versions on any figures. That's just a rule. It's the golden rule. And they would look so great. And I think maybe Mayfex would be the one to do it. I would love for them to do a new Teen Titans because that's a relatively basic and small line. Maybe that's something I could do a video on, but it would work because it's not but so many characters you have to do. I'm thinking of George Perez style. And we've seen them kind of try to adapt the artwork from certain artists, like with that Azrael Nightfall Batman that really favors the Gem Apparel head sculpt. So maybe that's something they would do. And I would definitely be all about it. JMRJR30 says, I passed on that Serpentor because of the face. If he came with the "This I command" yelling face, I would have jumped on it. I think eventually we're going to see a different Serpentor. It's just a matter of when we get to it. But yeah, I think for sure we'll see him at some point. NH Kid says we need an updated cap from the first Avenger. The Incredible Hulk from the 2009 film, 2008 film is another must-have. Yes. Well, I wonder if they would do an Edward Norton. That would be a real deep cut. Excuse me. So for the last thing I want to show you guys, because this was wild. The Brahmin Toys, the Marshall, aka Brave Star figure. This looks really, really, really good. I don't know if you guys remember Brave Star, but it's such a great idea, concept. Wild West, his sidekick was like most characters, heroes from that time period, an animal, but it was his horse, and it was so cool. This design on this figure is amazing, and it just really captures the look, even though they had to make a few changes. But this is a really great looking figure, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. So you can see here, he's got all these weapons, all these accessories, and just really well done work all around with this guy. And then he even got a little tomahawk action there. That's really cool. And he's just loaded with some great stuff. A little poncho action too. Different head sculpt. See that smaller one? I really like that. And it's different, all the accessories. This is really cool. I had Brave Star, and I just am really excited about this. Seeing what they do with this. And yeah, I think we have to go all in with those guys. Major Gun Player, talking about the great George Perez. It's a complete shame that Hasbro has not made a proper Hector Ayala White Tiger. It would be so awesome to see a Sons of the Tiger multi-pack. They probably wouldn't be able to get away with that, but maybe pairing him with, say, Iron Fist, since we didn't get that one with Luke Cage, maybe that would work. But I'm with you. I think White Tiger deserves a better figure. I mean, we have, was it his sister in figure form, and she needs an update anyway, but yeah, the regular White Tiger would be a really great figure. Randall just saw on Transformers 2005 an articulated Optimus Prime based on the original design. I mean, the original toy design looks nice. Check it out then. Rain Rock 80s Rants and Real Talk. What up, though? Sorry I'm late. It's all good, man. We got the replay coming up very soon. Ryan Daly, Brave Star. Love that show. So good, wasn't it? I mean, we got super spoiled with all our great cartoon shows in the 80s. Is it Masterpiece or from our new 40th anniversary line? I don't know. Maybe Randall can let us know. But yeah. So, guys, thank you as always for hanging out with me. I'll be back on with a best of video, probably Steel, or my next Complete the Crew assignment for Hasbro or Mattel. We'll see which way I go. And maybe I'll come up with the full realm of why Mayfex needs to do some more focused lines of DC Comics, because what they give us are great. We just need more faster. And hopefully we'll find out if we get some more classified series coming in next week or so, because the way they're rolling, they're going hard. So thank you as always, everybody, for tuning in, chatting it up. Always have a great time spending Thursdays with y'all. Hope you have a great Friday and a really even better weekend. Thank you so much. This episode of Loud's Figure Files has been